The Utah Jazz have been making some moves this offseason. Danny Ainge is wasting no time trying to build this squad into a contender in the Western Conference, and he goes out, he does a heck of a job in the draft. He gets Taylor Hendricks at number 9, had even number 7 on my board. That's a great value. Keyounte George and Brice Sensabaugh I kind of had flip-flop, but they end up with both of them, so works out just fine. And then they bring in John Collins for a bag of potato chips to go along with their current core. Still got Colin Sexton. You got Lauri Markennen, who's over fighting. Actually, I don't think he's fighting. He's just in the military. They got Walker Kessler. They got Jordan Clarkson. So this is going to be a fun team to monitor over the next few years, especially with all the picks they have, what they can be doing. So yeah, we're going to be talking all about the Utah Jazz. Make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below, as it really helps out in the YouTube algorithm. Also, about 97% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're one of the 97%, you can fix that right now. It only takes a second out of your time. Also, we have a TikTok account now too, so make sure to go check that out as well. Little out of date, but yeah, go check that out. Now let's go ahead and get started with today's video, looking at the huge draft for the Utah Jazz. And you start off with Taylor Hendricks. This is the perfect choice for a team like the Jazz. He has insane upside. He can play the 3 or the 4. You know, you got Lauri Markennen, so you're looking at a forward duo of Taylor Hendricks and Lauri Markennen, both at about 6'9" or 10. That's pretty nice right there. 15 points a game, 7 rebounds, 1.4 assists per game for Hendricks. He's looking like, in my opinion, he's going to be a monster going forward. 6'9", 210 pounds, and really has a guard skill set. Flew up draft boards late in the process. 48% from the field, 39% from 3, 1 steal, 1.7 block. That's almost the equivalent of, that is the equivalent of like an OG Anunoby shooting splits with defensive upside, but you can argue he can do more with the ball than like an OG Anunoby at 6'9". We'll see though. So Taylor Hendricks, really like that pick. Taking a look at the others here, they got Keyounte George out of Baylor. Like I said, I had Keyounte George towards the lower 20s in my big board. They got him at 16. I had Brice Sensabaugh, late teens. They got him at 28. So you kind of flip the value there. But Keyounte George averaged 15.3 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game at Baylor this year, as I think he was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year. He only shot at 38% from the field and 34% from 3. Not good at all. 80% from the free throw line is promising, however. Lots of times you look at that free throw percentage to really tell how good of a shooter a prospect is. And then they go out at number 28 and pick up the man Brice Sensabaugh out of Ohio State, a guy I was very, very high on during the whole pre-draft process. I thought he was going to be a 6'6", 235 pounds. However, not like a Cam Whitmore, where he's 6'6", 235 and can jump out the gym. He's 6'6", 235, plays below the rim. Average 16.3 points, 5.2 rebounds, 1.8 assists. And I think the fact that he does play below the rim is part of the reason that he fell in the draft class, of course. Well, I mean, you can't really say that, though, because Cam Whitmore fell to 20. But 48% from the field, 41% from 3, 83% from the free throw line. I feel like he's better than Keyounte George offensively, and Keyounte George doesn't play defense, so I'd say he's a better overall prospect. But we'll see going forward. Maybe Keyounte's just a little bit more pro-ready. Now, an absolute steal. Like I said, they got him for a bag of potato chips. Now, I know he only averaged 13 points, 6.5 rebounds, 1.2 assists, in what was a very, very much down year for John Collins last year in Atlanta. So I think Atlanta was just trying to clear up some cap space, but this is a guy that's been there for a while. 51% from the field, 29% from 3, also averaged a block per game at that power forward position. Like I said, he was one of the first guys to commit to that rebuild. Still got 3 years and $78 million left on his contract, so that could have a little something to do with why the Hawks wanted to trade him. But they get Rudy Gay and a second-round pick for John Collins. That's not great return for a guy that a couple of years ago you could have gotten so much more from. Kind of unfortunate there for the Hawks. But the Jazz get a steal. I feel like he's going to come into Utah and be able to do whatever he wants. It's not like they have to pay anybody really over the next 3 years other than Colin Sexton, who they extended, and then Jordan Clarkson. I think Lauri got his extension as well. But for the most part, they've got a young core that's coming up that, in 3 years, they'll still all be on their rookie deals. Like I said, Jordan Clarkson got a 3-year, $55 million extension. That's about $18.3 million per year. So pretty good money there for the old man. 21 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, 4 assists. Now, he's not exactly old. He's just the old man here in Utah because everybody else is extremely young due to the rebuild. He shot it about 44% from the field last year, 34% from three. So not terrible, but not exactly the numbers that he was putting up when he was a sixth man of the year. And then 31 years old. He's carved out a nice little career here in Utah, however. Now, the Twin Towers, like I said, in the future, you've got these two starting in your front court with Taylor Hendricks at the 3, all 6'9" or taller. That is kind of crazy. Walker Kessler is going to be a guy that they traded him for Rudy Gobert, and he's already as good as Rudy Gobert. Traded Rudy Gobert for him, and also got about 17 first-round picks. He averaged 9.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 2.3 blocks, 72% from the field, 33% from three, but he takes 0 attempts per game, according to Basketball Reference. That's a bit interesting. So, in all likelihood, he took like 3 threes on the year. Like I said, 2.3 blocks, played about 23 minutes a game. Per 36 numbers on those blocks is just crazy. Out of this world. About 3.5 a game. Lauri Markennen averaged 25.6 points per game and 8.6 rebounds last year for the Jazz, and what was kind of a breakout year for him after coming over from the Cleveland Cavaliers where he was like the 5th or 6th option. Now he comes in, almost 26 a game on almost 50, 40, 90. That's pretty good efficiency right there. 39% from three, kind of drug him down a little bit. But after the military, he's going to be looking like a force to be reckoned with here in Utah. The 6'10" super soldier over there. Where's he? From Finland, right? The marksman? I think. Yeah. That makes sense. Now let's take a look at the starting lineups here. This is what I got projected. I don't have any of the youth put in the lineup yet because, like I said, you're going to let them develop on the bench for a year or so. You got plenty of time. No need to rush the timeline. You got all the picks in the world, although I do think, does Oklahoma City have their pick next year? Potentially. I'll have to go back and look at that, but I'm pretty sure they do. So we're looking at Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markennen, John Collins, and Walker Kessler. Don't be surprised if towards the end of the year or next year, John Collins is either traded or sent to the bench instead of like a Taylor Hendricks coming to the lineup. Ochai, well, we'll talk about Ochai in a second. But overall, this is a team that they're not exactly going to be winning that many games next year, but in the next few years, I really like what they've been doing. Oh, they also put out an offer on Paul Reed. He is a restricted free agent, though, so I'll learn my lesson from that Mavs video I did. I'm not going to talk about him yet. If they do sign him, I'll make a whole new video for that. But taking a look at the bench here, Ochai Agbaji, who I really, really liked as a prospect in last year's draft. Thought he was very high upside. Thought he was very NBA ready. Turns out he wasn't the most NBA ready player in the class. But they don't really have a backup point guard, but they have Keyounte. Actually, Chris Dunn's there. They have Keyounte George, Brice Sensabaugh, Taylor Hendricks, Kelly Olynyk. Looking for Ochai to have a big year. My last Jazz video, people were flaming me in the comments for not putting Chris Dunn in here. So sorry about that. We'll give him his flowers. He could be a solid rotational piece for them next year. Keyounte George and Brice Sensabaugh, though, and Taylor Hendricks, all three of the rookies. I'm looking to see some good rookie run and then some major improvement from Ochai Agbaji. I feel like he can be a really, really good sixth man for them this year. Overall, though, y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this Utah Jazz team. Do they need to try and win some games now? Is John Collins going to have more of a role in the offense? We shall see, but with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and hit the subscribe button, and remember, if Paul Reed signs, it's because it was after this video was made. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.